It's going well overall. Thank you for asking. And as always, good to see everyone here. Just came through a very hectic month, the month of March, which was Ramadan. And we had 90 inmates participating in that. And so it obviously just extra workload, but it went very well. And so I'm happy to see that month come and go for the purposes of being busy. Um, we are looking forward to Easter. Once again, the Life Center is providing gift bags for each inmate, which we are hovering just over 700 right now. And one for each staff actually that'll be working that day. So it's just a wonderful thing that happens that we're blessed by the church, our neighbors next door, really. And so looking forward to that. We just finalized, actually, Carl, you would know all about this, but I just got the approval from security for the bags that will be entering the institution. And so we just got that this morning. So it's all coming together. Really looking forward to that. Obviously, Easter is such a huge celebration, a somber moment and celebration all in one, with Good Friday and Easter Sunday, and I'm looking forward to celebrating that and presenting that as well to the inmates. In addition to some goodies in the gift bag, there's a handwritten note and some scripture in there in a nice booklet form. So the inmates will be getting that. One other thing, just wanted to highlight quickly, Carl. I know that I reached out to you with this very positive news and had chatted with John about this a little bit as well. But the the posting for an additional chaplain went live, I believe, last Wednesday or Thursday. So spread the word. If anyone's interested, the posting is public, and they will be hiring an additional chaplain, which I know for you, Carl, you understand, and for me, it's just an answer to prayer. So much more will be able to be accomplished here, and very much looking forward to that. So the posting for that position ends, I believe, on April 8th or 9th. So spread the word. If you want to reach out to me for the actual link to that, I can certainly send that along if there's anyone interested in learning more about that or have questions about that. But that is some excellent news. I'm really looking forward to having that. Outside of that, doing well overall. We're blessed to be here. Encouraged by your devotional this morning, Carl, and just the role that we have and the opportunity that we have to share the good news and things are well. So thank you, each one of you, for your prayers, your support, and just the continued journey that we're on together. So bless each of you.
Thank you, Marvin. Do I have your permission to put in the link for the job posting in the notes? Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, that's fine for sure. 100%.
Excellent.
Monica Ministry was a little bit on hold this year, and I can't remember, honestly, because the first 3 months were a blur. If I did attend a meeting this year, or is this my first? I honestly can't remember. And I went through my notes. I usually make notes, and I can't find anything. So maybe I wasn't. So what happened was I had surgery, and I needed a long recovery. I was in hospital for a week, and then a recovery after. And that's why I say everything's a blur. I was on medication that blurred me. And then I had COVID. So last month I couldn't join because of that. And so the whole first year so far, I haven't actively been working even in the ministry. Just the nature of things, I was more in bed and in my bedroom than anywhere else. But thanks to a connection that John from Whitestone made, we have one new Monica for the year so far. And then what I've been doing since I've been better is I've been connecting, and it's going slow because to get these appointment times are hard, but I'm connecting with every Monica that I have on the list already, just to see where they're at. Are they still enjoying praying? Are they feeling, some never get a report because these people are in other parts of the country, or we just don't hear from them. So I wanted to know, are they feeling discouraged? Somebody mentioned maybe they need to pray for someone else. And so far they are very happy with what they're doing, which is very good news to me. I also asked them if because I'm looking at expanding pools to get people to pray, but connecting streams and power to change, Teresa Kwan, she has ideas. And so we've been praying and we've been meeting together, and it's all very positive, but I wanted to know what the Monicas that we have on board think right now. And they thought that the model, the way it is, was very endearing to them, and they really wanted to stick with that, which is very positive to me, because I often think, do people feel discouraged? Should we change something? But no, they're perfectly happy with the way it is. So that is good. And there's still some that I need to connect with, at least with half of them. So we'll see how that goes. And then I was at Whitestone, I don't know, John, 2-3 weeks ago. I can't remember now. But I made a few connections there again. And with one of the guys came up to me and he said, oh, he has people that can pray. And so he connected me via email with people. So I'm waiting to hear back from them. It always goes a bit slow when you ask people to have an opportunity to speak to the women's ministry or their seniors ministry, just to ministry, just to people in general. I'm often viewed with this skepticism, like, prayer for who? And then unfortunately there are people that just say this is not for them, and I'm sure they have other things that they do, but so it's to bring the heart of this ministry forward, that we pray for people, and then to share what this prayer has done for people. So when I was at the last meeting, I'm sitting kind of across a man who last year was in such a desperate state, and this year I just look at him and it's a life transformed. It's even a physical transformation, and it's stuff like that that fuels me and says, prayer works. God hears, God sees that individual that you're praying for. And this man has a Monica who is probably one of the most sincere people I know in prayer. She's so new to the faith. She's only been a believer 4 or 5 years. But man, when she prays, it's that childlike faith, and she energizes me when we pray together. So just to see, I know that prayer works, and I know that this ministry is valuable. And then the few men that I see every time I go to Whitestone, I see a few consistently that come every time. And then there's always a new pool of people that I haven't met. So I am very much in love with this ministry. I really enjoy what I do. So yeah, that's it. That's the only update I can offer at this time.
Thank you so much, Angelica. How many Monicas or how many men are you supporting in prayer?
So right now it's 26 men, no, 25 men and 1 woman. And then we have a couple of Monicas, I think there's 3, pray for 2 people. And this is a question that I asked of them, do they want to take on an additional one? So only 2 have said yes to, well, 1 started off right off the bat like that, and 1 said yes. But at this point, they feel, those that I've asked, they feel that 1 is good enough for them. So, yeah.
Thank you. And may I put an email address by your report, so if any of us have someone on our heart who might be able to pray as a Monica,
Please
get in touch with you? Okay.
Please. Yeah, that is the best thing you can ask me.
That-
I
That's
am really looking for people to pray, but I don't actively go out and knock on doors because I try to share what Monica does and then ask God to reveal to them if they should pray. And actually, every Monica that I have has come that way. They have felt the call. So then I know it's from their heart and they'll do it. So.
okay. So Don, would you like to jump in here? And are you and Rick going to be a tag team about
Yeah,
connecting stream? Is that okay?
yeah, that's perfect. Actually, I'm going to defer to Rick and let him speak. I just will make one little comment. Marvin kind of got me going there because I was actually doing time at Bordeaux Prison in Montreal over Easter in 1984, and what a powerful experience I had in the chapel there at Bordeaux on Good Friday. And
Yeah.
how important it is for those inmates. I remember they had a giant cross on the floor, and we all came and laid hands on the cross. It was
Wow.
just a powerful experience. So I'll be praying for you, Marvin, over that weekend, and defer to Rick. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, Don. Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks, Don. So, good morning, guys. It's been a while because I do street outreach on Mondays. I can't make too many of these meetings, but I want to change my schedule and come out this month. And I guess for me, in terms of reporting, there'll be three things. The first one is just a thank you so much to John Westbrook. He came last Tuesday to our group and shared, and he had a huge impact on the group. I don't know the last time we actually did an altar call at one of our meetings, but it was pretty amazing. So thank you very much, John, for that. So the two other things I just wanted to mention, we've probably shared a couple times about our trip up north to the prison up there and everything that happened last week. Was it last week or the week before? I just presented a grant proposal to actually continue that work. Much more impactful and much more long term over the course of the next year. So we can use prayers just to see that unfolds and happens, and God shows favor inside of that because we have some great ideas and plans for prison ministry up north, as well as addictions. So it's like the whole gamut up there. So, and the second thing is just to excitedly announce, Marvin, we finally got. We're this Sunday. I'll be going in with the team to OCDC starting this coming Sunday, and that's been 6 months in the works, and now it's actually going live. So that's an amazing thing, and that's pretty much it that I can think of.
Thank you, Rick. That's exciting news. I appreciated seeing your videos about your trip up to Iqaluit. That very exciting.
But one of the things that's happened at Harvest House that I think is really going to be impactful, and I'm excited about it, is I had come to the prison networking meeting, and let me see what his name was. Praise the Lord. Mr. Wilkinson from New Brunswick was there with the Alpha Prison Ministry. And so I was able to share with Dr. Pastor Danny Kripo, who is the pastor of the church at Harvest House, and also the executive director. And he is looking in very seriously to putting the Alpha program into Harvest House for just for a change. They have another program, but apparently it's a fill in the blank. And the pastor thought that it would be much more impactful if we're having discussions. And I had said that when I went into the prison with Pastor Carl back in the day. Yeah, I earned this white hair.
I didn't trouble you that much, did I?
No, it wasn't you. I've got three
Oh,
sons.
oh,
I've got three sons, Praise the Lord, who are all blessed because God is going to find them work that pays. all three of them need work that pays. So God is going to come through with that. So I'm just appreciate your poem. It's grand. It was grand. So I'm excited about the idea of the Alpha going into Harvest House, and we are looking to we are getting things organized at Harvest House and looking for donations, of course, and corporate donations, whatever kind of donations, because we've got exciting plans to be building a skills development building behind the original school that we had. And so that will give the men not only, I mean, they have a phone room, but the phone and sell calendars and all these kind of things. But some of those things are going by the way because people don't have telephones, and so you don't know their number to call them. We don't go door to door selling calendars. So those things are changing. So the skills development, they've actually purchased a printer to be able to make embroidery and things like that. They're going to be teaching the men how to do those things because not only do we school the men and help them with their GED, we have, I think, 2 or 3 men in Carleton University, and one man, Eric, is I'll just mention his first name. He's actually going to be finishing up his degree. He's going to be going into law school. And then we have a couple other men that are in Carleton U. And so it's a program where we try and tell the men that come into the program, first of all, it's about Jesus Christ, that's who your power of higher is. So those are things that are going on. And then the Alpha course, I think, is going to help those people that accept Jesus get a firm grounding on which way and what the Bible is, and to see that it's just not the 7 or 8 people that come in from outside on church morning that we all believe in Jesus, and then and to go on the thing on the footsteps of the people who went before. So we're excited about that, and that's, I think, I'm going to give you just a little bit of one song that I do. How's that? Just one of my songs, a little bit of one of my songs. I don't have my 12-string guitar up here, but it actually goes, it's only little. Take a little time and sing a song just for the King. He will come and set your spirit free. You'll be in the heavenlies with all the hosts around, walking in the footsteps of the King, walking in victory. You'll see him face to face, walking in love. He'll hide you in his grace. There's more, but I'll sing it another time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, pray.
For Harvest House. We can use all the prayers we get.
Thank you for sharing, and thank you for singing. It brings back good memories of you coming in with your guitar. Debbie is a singer-songwriter as well as an amazing prayer warrior and a blessing. And what a volunteer! So thank you for signing on. And
New Connections Ministries, as you know, has been heading in an exciting direction as we have opened up Hope Horizons, a second home, a phase 2 to our 12-month transition home. And we're really in a direction now that we're aiming to be a resource for faith-based or secular treatment programs. We feel we can offer a better service, even though, yes, we're a prison ministry, but a lot of our clients need treatment first, and we just are not a treatment program. So being that resource for men coming out of a Heritage House or a Jericho Road or a Teen Challenge or any secular programs, we want to be able to do that. And right now, I have 7 clients that I counsel. 6 are residents of Liberty House and Hope Horizons. We have 2 current beds available. We had a couple people in the wings, but they can sometimes, it's a process to get men or women to go and commit to certain programs. What we were finding is people were trying to come to us without going to treatment first, because as an addict, you usually want the easy way. You usually want to take the shortcut and stuff. And we don't want that. And we're looking to network. We're networking with John Westbrook. Some of our clients go Tuesday nights to the program that they run. And the men have enjoyed it. And we're looking to implement other 12-step program into what our men do on a weekly basis. We're still trying to navigate those waters on how that will go, but we're always trying to improve the better spiritual care of the clients that are in our program, because they have more freedoms now. We do have to make sure that they're grounded in a home church, that they're doing some sort of support through the week, and we're doing bi-weekly counseling sessions with them. But so far, it's going very well, and we've got an outstanding list of clients that are doing the program well, and God is slowly reimbursing them for their lost years with interest, and that's all we can ask. I am looking to be networking with a ministry that's called Safe Haven out of Kitchener-Waterloo. And these people are working with first-time homeless people and looking at putting them as guests and hosts in homes. And I'm actually looking to see, can we try and build or network something in the Ottawa area for our clients that are getting ready to leave our transition home. But there's a 10-year wait list for a guy to get affordable housing in our capital city. That's my biggest obstacle. God is bigger than this problem, and he will open the right doors. And I don't know if this is a type of ministry that is it's God's will or not, but if we can find good Christian homes that would rent a room to a person who is in transition themselves back into society but just can't get their own place, that's what we're looking to try and branch out and see if this is an avenue that we want to go with guests and hosts type of housing and ministry for clients that are going to be leaving our care eventually. And we're not going to ask any of our clients to leave because they don't have housing, or if their only option is a room in a trap house. And we won't do that. So we're just trusting that God will continue to open doors for this ministry so that we don't see any men fall through the cracks. And by being a resource as a faith-based transition home, networking tightly with exit coordinators from other ministries is what I'm starting to do. And I'm excited for the direction of New Connections, because I feel like faith-based transition homes is a gap that needs to be filled, if that makes sense. And I think you'd only understand that being in this type of ministry, in prison ministry, in addictions ministry, recovery. So yeah. Any prayer requests I could think of right now is just pray for the clients that we take care of. I pray for all our ministries to have the staff to have wisdom and knowledge and discernment. That's an unselfish prayer with the broken people that we take care of, that God has entrusted to us. Wisdom and knowledge and discernment all the way through. Thank you for your time. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. If you have any questions, you can get a hold of me. Okay. God bless. Thank you.
I'd like to report on New Life Prison Ministries. For years, I interacted with them at least 2 or 3, 4 times a week as the chaplain at OCDC, and grew to have a good working relationship with them. And I liked them so much that I asked whether I could volunteer afterwards. By the way, today is the anniversary, my 4th anniversary of when I retired. So God is taking care of me, and He definitely has provided OCDC with a wonderful new chaplain, and uh, God's in control. I'm very happy with the ministry that He's giving me, and so it's going good for Released for Good. For New Life Prison Ministry, I just want to report that we're about to launch and send out our new electronic devices called ARC units. And they are a resource that inmates can get, and they have hours and hours of Christian music, contemporary Christian music. They have the whole Bible available to them. Many of our New Life studies have been recorded and put on there. And it just fills up this device, and the inmates can play it in their cells. And I fought for years to get it at OCDC. And did you say, Marvin, that there is a possibility that OCDC might be able to get the ARC device there?
Yeah, I have them in stock and we're using them. So,
Fantastic. Is that the
yeah.
new ARC device?
No, it's the
2.0?
older one, although I did request that the new one be sent because it looks like it has some nice upgrades to it for
Oh,
sure.
yeah. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. 2,000 units have been are in our offices, and we've had 1,085 ordered. So it's opening for other chaplains to get that. Let's see. Um, since January, we've had 516 new students. These are inmates who have wanted to do our studies. We've processed 6,151 since January. That's a lot of work for volunteers such as Eric and myself. We are instructors. We respond to these studies. It's just so exciting and fulfilling to be part of that. And so we're busy, busy, busy at New Life Prison Ministry, the staff and the volunteers. It's just a great report, and I'll include prayer requests for that each of those units would get sent to the right person, and that they would be a blessing and open up many doors of opportunity. So that's my brief report from Released for Good and also New Life Prison Ministry.
You brought up New Life because that's mainly my topic today, because last month Dismiss was very small. Everybody's sick. We had 6 people show up, which was okay by me because we had lasagna for supper and I got 3 helpings. New Life Minister PFC, well, same old, same old. I'm still waiting. I do have a group that I join on Zoom every Tuesday afternoon. That's going great. One of my guys in Toronto and the other guy's in Calgary, Alberta. The only downside we have is Calgary's been hit with so many storms lately, even recently, that we've had to cancel a meeting with the 2-on-1 rule. We can't have a meeting with just one guy and me. So New Life Ministry has been going great and it has been going busy. And it seems like, well, I know it's only once a week we get the email, but I swear it's every second day. We're getting emails saying, can you take on new inmates? Can you take on new inmates? I'm like, wow, I might as well just quit my job and do this full time because the need is still there. The volunteers are needed. So definitely one of the prayers for New Life would be, if it touches your heart that you want to volunteer and you want to help make somebody's life just that much more bearable in the jail. I actually got a response back from one of my clients, and it's the first time I actually got a letter from them. And the letter was just one sentence. Know that your letters to me changed my life. And that's all it said. And I loved it because it was a letter. I've been asking, I'm like, are they allowed to write to us or what? Because I haven't received nothing from anybody. And yeah, I finally got one. So God is good. We could pray that we get no more snow and freezing rain. I was a little upset. We canceled pretty much every church in Brockville, shut their doors for yesterday. Unfortunately, it was the wrong call because by 8 o'clock in the morning, it was warm enough that all the ice was melting and it was water everywhere. But they don't know what decision to make. And one of my churches, the call came out at like 11 o'clock Saturday night. Stating we have to cancel, it's calling for really bad weather, and then we didn't get anything. So, but yeah, as far as my personal life goes, everything's going beautiful. Next week will be 5 months. On the 6th of April, it'll be 5 months that my son's been here. It already feels like 5 years. Yeah, he's testing me as much as I'm testing him. And next month, Christmas, I try to not go. But I've been forced to go because it happens to fall on my birthday. And they won't let me call in sick. Because they told me if I do, they know where I live and they're coming to get me. So pray that I'm actually not sick on my birthday, because 9 out of 10 times I am. It's right at that time of the year where the weather fluctuations, that's usually when I get sick. So other than that, everything's beautiful.
Eric, I'm glad that you mentioned that prison fellowship group because I felt like I was knowing that from their side of things, but not knowing it from your side. So thanks for that. I haven't really had a chance to give a full update, and I know that there's a few prison fellowship reps on this call. So I'll be quick, but I'll kind of just sort of give you an overview of activity in Eastern Ontario. So I know that the Dan Powell's usually here. So we do have in-prison groups operating out of Brockville Jail and OCDC. And they're typically doing the forgiveness journey. We have 8 volunteers at Brockville, and they sort of rotate and share the load. I think it's about the same at OCDC, Marvin. Yeah, and so at the Brockville Jail, they had to pause a little bit because of weather. But I'm sure that that's going to correct itself eventually. And then the other place is Warkworth. We had Alpha on the call last month, I think it was. And so I just wanted to talk about beautiful partnerships and a lot of them coming out of these calls. We have a team of volunteers that are trained by us, but one of them has now begun Alpha. And so it's nice to see that the way that we're working together and the programs mesh together. So definitely pray for that at Warkworth. That's a tough prison. And the volunteers are very faithful. We also have the possibility of a sycamore tree. So our restorative justice program, where we match what we call surrogate victims with offenders in circles of conversation. And so you may all remember Bob Logan. So he was actually set up to go in and do that, but he's now moving to British Columbia. So it's great. We're gonna hit him up for some prison ministry in British Columbia. We won't let him go, but yeah, it might put a bit of a pause on our plans. Yeah, it's still good though, right, Carl? We have 4 Angel Tree camping kids in Eastern Ontario and Ottawa and Kingston area so far. That may seem like a small number to you all, but the ripple effect of a child going to camp is pretty pronounced. Yeah, it's one of our participants, Michael Wall, he just filmed a video with us, which you'll see soon, telling his life story. He went to Camp Iowa. You may know that camp. Yeah.
I was on
And
staff there. Yes.
that's right. Yeah, he's on staff. He's now at Queen's University, engaged, getting his teaching degree. Lovely, lovely person. But his dad's still incarcerated 23 years later. He may be getting out next year, so great story. But we see with the camping kids that that's really where the changes happen, and their ripple effect to their family and beyond is pretty amazing. One of the things we need prayer for, though, is we've advertised in the past that it takes about $300 on average to send a child to camp through accredited Christian camp partners, but the price is going up and up and up and up. So, we see prices of $1,200. The camps have been really good with subsidizing the spots, but they're struggling too. So just pray that we can get the financial equation right. And the kids with the families that are have the confidence to send their kids, especially to overnight camps that they maybe don't have a relationship with, because it's a great program. And we don't need a lot of kids, but we do need to find the ones that need camp the most. And then lastly, I wanted to mention Bridge Care because 2 of you, Steve, New Connections Ministries, you mentioned something that hit my heart. So our Bridge Care program, basically, we take 2 volunteers in the community where the person's being released, and we match them to a releasing prisoner. But we're finding that the biggest challenge is when someone doesn't have a home, how can they meet with us for coffee, How can they be spiritually mentored when they have nowhere to live? And there's a lot of places that won't take people transitioning with a background of incarceration. So we echo your prayer, Steve, and love what you're doing. And I love the partnership. So as I've described my program to you all, or Prison Fellowships program, we can walk alongside with everyone, Celebrate Recovery, Whitestone. John and I met this week, and where we can have 2 people that are sort of dedicated to the one, and that one is going into all of your programs. It's such a great bolstering partnership. So keep us in mind. I wanted to point out that we do have 10 clients in the Kingston and Ottawa areas combined, from women and men, men's institutions or transitional houses that we're looking for volunteer partners for. We have 3 volunteers right now that are going through our process. So we're doing matchups. Good news is where we're getting from chaplains, where we're getting people coming out of the Kingston, Ottawa jails into the GTA, we're having no problem matching them. So we've got a lot of volunteers here, and a lot of them are releasing our in the way of the Toronto area. So lots of good things happening with Bridge Care. We have a dedicated Bridge Care manager to Ontario prisoners and volunteers. So just any referrals you can give to me, I would love to be able to follow up with these people and get them trained. I think that's probably it, Carl, for my quick splattering of what's going on. But yeah, exciting times.
Spencer, I've been thinking about you with this ice storm, and please give us a report. I hope none of the trees that grow around your place caused you any misery this last weekend.
Yeah, so far so good, and we still have power, so that's a blessing as well. However, I did go to great lengths to install this thing called a Generalink that goes right into your hydrometer, just in case you do lose power, you can get a big generator fired up and it runs the whole house, which we tested once last year just because we had to make sure it works. And it was quite expensive, and it's kind of weird because in a way I kind of want the power to go out just for a little bit so that we can use the thing because we went to, but all in all, we're grateful that that we do have power and that, so it's all good. And so I do have a resource for both Shirley and Steve. The John Howard Society is running an excellent program in the Ottawa area that's funded by the city of Ottawa. And there's it's called the Housing Links and Reintegration Program. And there's a worker at OCDC, and her name is Lucy. But then there's also a worker in the community named Jared. And so what Jared and Lucy do is they provide housing for formerly incarcerated people so that they can become housed into the community and not have to go into the shelter system after release. And so what it is, it's in the way of a list. And so this is going to work perfect for you, Steve, because guys get on the list. There is a waiting period, but it's an accelerated list. And so one of our guys got onto this list that's at our center, and so then they get market rent, or sorry, a market rental property that's subsidized, and so I think they can get up to a $1,400 a month apartment. So then John Howard steps in and actually goes, so the client finds the apartment, and then John Howard steps in and says, we're going to guarantee a lease for a year for this person. And so then the whole idea is that the guys will get some time to get back up on their feet, and get working. And then maybe some people like, some of our other organizations can work to mentor and help with employment in that period of time. So I just recently found this out myself. So here's the kicker, Steve. If you get a guy that's coming from OCDC, he's got to call this. If he hasn't met with Lucy inside, he's got to call this Jared guy within 24 hours of his release to get his name on that list. And so if you have the ability to work with your future clientele while they're still incarcerated. So this is something that I've been doing is any applicant to our program, I ask them to put in a request form to speak with Lucy in the jail to get their name on this list, knowing that at some point they're going to need to find independent living. And also one of our largest barriers here at the Manny Daniels Center is getting guys out into the community in independent living. So hopefully that's helpful. And for us, believe it or not, the biggest struggle that we're having right now is filling beds. So I have 5 beds open, and it's not that there's no need for our services. So it's just the process of getting a person out on bail can sometimes be lengthy, and I have I guess, a fairly strict criteria of the applicants that we would accept into our program here. And so I guess prayers for our beds to get filled. So it pains me to have empty space, and knowing that we're equipped, we're able to take in guys. And so I've been working with the addictions counselors at OCDC and the social workers at the Brockville jail. And I actually have a list of counselors in Penetang and in Lindsay that I'll be reaching out to as well to process a few more applications. I'm a little bit weary though. It's kind of like grocery shopping when you're hungry and you get home with 20 bags of stuff that you didn't really need because you were just so hungry when you went shopping. So I'm not, I have enough wisdom to know that I don't want to put my foot too hard on the gas pedal because I'm hungry right now to fill the beds, and then all of a sudden have an influx that we can't meet the needs of. So trying to find that sweet spot in there. But I am certain that God has a plan and that there's a purpose for the reason why it's feels a little bit slow to get our beds filled. So that being said, if I guess if anybody here hears me, we are accepting applications at the Manny Daniels Center, and the criteria is that the men be pre-sentenced and awaiting bail. And then we work with our prospective clientele to form a bail plan with their lawyers that would have them released into our care, where they would then commence long-term treatment for their drug and alcohol addiction, and then some of the other various barriers that may be in place in their life to eventually pointing towards independent living. So yeah, nice to be here. Nice to see everybody here, and thanks for hearing me out.
Thank you, Carl. It's good to see everyone. Um, yeah, it's been coming up 9 years that I've been a volunteer at the Quebec City Detention Center, the provincial prison, and I was surprised to learn just this past week that apparently it's the second worst institution in the province, second only to Big Bad Bordeaux. So I go there myself to be encouraged. It doesn't fail me ever. There it is. One difficult, one challenge that is faced by the staff, and particularly the chaplains, is the fact that there are drone deliveries of dope to the prison. This is not unheard of, especially in the federal penitentiaries, and I guess it's coming to the provincial institutions. There is supply and demand in effect, but it's really demoralizing both for the staff and particularly the chaplains, and I think for the inmates, because I would say it deprives them of the one benefit of a stay inside, and that is the time and the space to get some thinking done. So that's one challenge that I think is undermining morale in the institution. The other thing is that there's a staff shortage. And one result of that situation has been that the women inmates, except for those who have court appointments here, have been transferred to Montreal. And as you can imagine, this is hugely disruptive for their plans to, arrange treatment, the contact for the application is disrupted. Their contact with their family here in town is disrupted. Telephone visits, cash deposits at the front door. It's just not good for many of the women. The ones who are here, I was able. The women were transferred out in January. In February, I didn't get to go into the prison because there was really bad weather. In March, we had a wonderful meeting among, I think there were 8 of the 15 or 16 women who were remaining in the institution who came out to the chapel, and it was just a beautiful. I admire these women so much because of their lucidity and their solidarity, and it was a wonderful time. And I'm going again tomorrow evening to be with the women. And as an upshot, many of my one-on-one visits these days are with the men, so it's good for me to be in that sector as well. I ask your prayers for staff recruitment. There were a number of new hires following the pandemic, but not all of them have stuck with it. So we need validation of that work, which is valuable. Certainly, this year I actually have 35 years in prison as a volunteer, and in that time I've seen I've seen 2 generations of inmates and 2 generations of correctional officers. And of course, the training is much better now for the correctional officers, and they have more of a social work, less of a punitive emphasis, and which is a really good thing. And at the moment, it's just plain tough. It's the staff are without a contract, and this is kind of a chronic cycle. They sign a contract for 3 years, but it's already a year and a half into the contract, and yada yada. So they're not happy, and I ask for your prayers for them because it's a tough road to hoe. When I talk with them, they need caring as well. Um, Another unrelated issue, the homeless shelter across the street from where I live. I don't know whether my partner and I are getting more tolerant of noise at night, but it's certainly the shelter and the city seem to have gone quite some way to dealing with the noise at night and the litter in the mornings. And in any case, it will close at the end of in mid-April. It's a 5-month program. They have funding for 5 months, mid-November to mid-April. It will be closing in a couple of weeks for the summer. And the other thing is that when Adele goes to Ottawa regularly on business, and she came back this January after a week in which one fellow in the streets of Ottawa died in bitter cold. I'm sure you know about this. And she came back and she said, I really appreciate this homeless across the street from where we live. I want them to be doing this good work. So, yeah. Um, this is an issue. It's not even an issue. It's a situation in all parts of Canada, even not just in the big cities anymore. In small towns in Quebec and Ontario, there's homeless people, and there's work that needs to be done. And I think the first part of that work takes place in people's hearts, and after that, the logistics are going to sort themselves out. But there's good work being done. So I ask your prayers for people on the street, for staff inside, and for the women that they're supposed to come back in May. They're supposed to be transferred back in May. So I ask your prayers for them and their continuity and their release plans. Thank you so much for listening.
This Saturday, April 5th, one of our Whitestone guys, Tyson, is going on a missions trip to Paraguay with Leader Impact. It was amazing to see how God raised the $4,500 that was needed for his airfare and hotel. And when you add a Whitestone guy to a missions trip, like this is business. This is Leader Impact. He'll be able to go into prisons. He'll be able to go into addiction recovery homes, and it changes the whole dynamic of the team. We did this last year in Ixtapa, Mexico, with one of our guys, and it's just a beautiful thing to see how God works. Whoa. And the way that God raised this money is incredible. Number two, this at our Whitestone Tuesday evening meetings, we're having 10 different Christian business leaders speak to us on their 5 keys for being successful in business, and maybe a story about how they messed up. And the reason we're doing this is because a lot of our guys have businesses, or they have like a side hustle, part-time, they do flooring at night and on weekends, that kind of thing. We want to teach our men and women to do business God's way. There's a way of doing business properly, paying tax, charging GST, like not cash. Come on. So tomorrow night we've got Glenn Floyd from who's a realtor, and then next week we have Phil Priddle from the Wood Source in Ottawa. If you're from Ottawa, you know what I'm talking about. These are 2 examples of guys. Number 3, coming up in 2 months, we have a farming project with Jericho Road. We've got a garden that is 220 meters long and about 10 meters wide. We're growing potatoes and onions, and what we don't harvest for ourselves in the fall will go to Jericho Road. And then the third partner is the Care Center at Bethel Church, which is a food bank. It is the biggest food bank in Ottawa. So, John 17 talks about unity in the church. So we're doing this with a Christian farmer, with Jericho Road, and with Whitestone, and we're excited about. Just want to thank Rick Ojala, who encouraged me to do Life Labs Express. And Thursday nights, there's a small group of us taking Life Labs with John Ruby at Union City Church. It is excellent. It's been very good and healthy for me to do this program. So thank you, Rick. It's been great. And then finally, on a personal note, I'm a grandfather. My first grandson was born. March 25th, healthy baby boy, Colin Florian Westbrook. He lives in Pemberton, British Columbia. So we're excited and looking forward to heading west sometime soon. Thank you. Over to you, Chris. There's the throw.
Thanks, John, and congratulations. Praise God. What a wonderful gift. He's faithful in every generation. I pray that he continues to show his faithfulness to you. When you get to hold your grandson in your arms, that's just going to be magic. Praise God. Wonderful. Thanks for having me. It's been a while since I've seen you all. Been a while since I've seen John too, because I've been away serving in another capacity for the last 2 or 3 months. Though I am continuing to walk alongside one of our Whitestone clients, a fellow by the name of Josh. I'm helping him do some business mentoring, walking alongside him as he starts a new season of entrepreneurship. Is a real heart to walk in step with the Spirit. So it's just a real pleasure to see him every week. And that about sums up my report. I'm still busy in my own theological studies as well, hoping to move closer and closer towards ministry in God's church, wherever that might lead our family. And so I'd ask for your prayers for Josh, for his business this spring, that it be successful, that he might be able to also find dependable employees that can work with him, and that he too would be successful in his desire to commit his business to the Lord. That would be really beautiful. 2 items for prayer there. And then, for continued endurance in this journey of education for myself. That would be wonderful. I appreciate your prayers. God bless you all.
I won't say much. Just to let you know, the federal government is still solvent. So here we are at Fed City. Ministry is tremendous. Things are happening. Appreciate it. There's always the institutional roadblocks that we face all the time, but I look at you guys as being the real heroes when I hear of what goes on in these ministries. It's just so awesome. I appreciate Spencer, especially. I hear from him. Of course, he's local for me at home, and the stuff you guys go through, the faith that you have, the challenges that you face are awesome. And I just say, God bless every one of you. I'm just a small cog in this whole machine. God bless you.
Sorry to interrupt. I just I got a message during this meeting, and it's from a friend of mine who is a jail guard at Exeter Road in London, Ontario.
Okay.
She has let me know that my daughter is there, which, thank God, you're alive, Courtney. Thank you, Jesus. My daughter is still alive. She deals with fentanyl addiction. She's a street prostitute. I want to talk about grandchildren just being born. My granddaughter just gave birth to my youngest grandson last September. I tried to find her in the very cemetery I used to work for in London, Ontario, where on the 14th of September, she gave birth 2 days later on the 16th of September, and she was sleeping in a tent in the cemetery I used to work at just days before the birth of my grandson. Obviously, CAS has my grandson. My granddaughter and I are working with people to try and make sure that this baby stays connected to our family. And of course, I'm celebrating that my daughter is alive right now. Fentanyl, there's 2 ways out, recovery or death. Okay, that's it. It's 2 ways. And I'm thanking God every day for the testimony that He's writing her. So I would like prayer that someone like that, you guys that go into these prisons, I pray someone will have an encounter with my daughter. Sorry.
Oh, I'm glad you spoke up. I'm glad you spoke up. And let's, if you have to go, you can drop off. Thank you for coming. But I think who would lead out in prayer for Steve? I want to give you an opportunity to pray as we close this, but every person is invited right now to one at a time pray for what God has laid on your heart. Was someone touched by what Steve just shared? And Debbie, would you pray and just follow through, and then I'll close us off in prayer.